Why don't we get started with you telling us who you are and what do you do?
Well, usually the way I introduce myself, I say, "Hello, everybody. My name is JohnnyFerno, formerly Johnny Fireflame. Changed to JohnnyFerno because it was just shorter and quicker to say. And I used to be a dedicated Brony reactor. I started in, I want to say season three. Yes, season three was when I started doing reaction videos. Um, that has mainly been my shtick for 10 plus years.
Hmm.
Time never slows down. Um, And nowadays, like I still do reactions once in a while. Otherwise, I stream and play a game, and also react. The reaction train never stops. You think you've escaped it, push you back in.
Can you give us a glimpse about what life was like before you got into ponies or the brony fandom?
Uh, that is actually a very cool question because it's not because that my life was like completely empty and devoid of things before ponies. I had other things,
Mhm.
obviously, cartoons and stuff. But ponies was like a big part, or became a very big part. But before then, it was like, yeah, what did I even do before ponies and stuff? I guess I just played games. I just did what any teenager did at the time. Yeah, not really. I think the most I was struggling with at the time was just coming to terms with my stuff up here, my mental situation, because autism and ADHD, bit of a duo to juggle. Uh, but yeah, nothing really special. Just I just lived and did things. Uh, I have made. I've. It's not because I did any YouTube. I did have some YouTube stuff. But it was very light. It was. I went to idea of different kinds of broadcasts that are broadcasts of videos. I tried to do commentary. I tried to do machinima. Don't go to my old channel. Those old videos are. My God, I thought I was so clever back then.
Can you tell us how you got into ponies?
Before I was like properly introduced to ponies, I was slightly exposed to it. To make a long story short, I followed this YouTube series called Freeman's Mind, if you know what a mind series is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and um, there are some other channels like that for Half-Life games, and then suddenly on one of these channels, I just saw the clip from the Halloween episode where Luna comes back,
Hmm.
uh, where like Twilight closes the door and Fluttershy smashes into it. That was my first exposure ever to ponies. And I just remember seeing the clip like, well, that was weird. And then I think either some months or even a whole year later, one of my friends came to me and was like, okay, I dare me to do something. And I dared him to do something incredibly simple. Like I think it was like balancing a pencil on his fingers or something. Like completely stupid. I couldn't think of anything else. And then he went at me with, "I dare you to watch the first the first 3 episodes of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic,"
Mm.
because he had gotten into it at the time, and I was just like, "Really? You want me to like?" I remember watching the original My Little Pony show like randomly on TV when I was younger. Uh, quick side tangent. If anyone remembers the episode in G1 where like their shadows are stolen, that episode freaked me the hell out. But yeah, I was basically introduced to it on a dare. I watched the 3 episodes, then the fourth, then the fifth, and I just kept going. Uh, I really got into that mindset of like, well, now I have to know what happens.
Mm.
Though back in the day, I had a really bad habit. I don't know if anyone else does this, but I sometimes can easily get hit by like secondhand embarrassment if
Mm.
someone
Mm.
does something in the show that's like, oh, why would you do that? Oh, I had a bad habit of skipping.
Oh,
So there were some episodes where I didn't get half the context because I kept like fast forwarding to exit to get away from the thing that made me icky. But of course, throughout time, I went back and rewatched all of them in their entirety. It's like, yeah, it's a habit I've tried to put that down. It still happens once in a while. But yeah, that was basically my introduction to MLB.
how about delving into your introduction to the fandom itself? How did you get involved?
I think how that happened was because like, uh, it was only the first 2 seasons that were out,
Mhm.
and it was then I began like, that was the first time I then found reaction videos because I didn't know reaction videos were a thing at the time. But then I began to see like because back in the day, you could just search up the episodes on YouTube. You
Mm,
could find the whole episodes there,
mhm,
uploaded. So then when I looked up an episode, I just saw another video under it. It's like reaction. What is that? And then I clicked on it. And through that, I found a bunch of what I would call like the classic, like the vanguard of Brony reactors, like Sound Speed, Cobalt
mm,
Sky. Those two were the main ones. Actually, I think the first channel I ever actually saw, I don't know if they exist anymore. I don't think they do. I don't remember their names, like something like Shadow Alpha X or something like that. It was two dudes watching it together, and I think they were the first ones I ever saw doing reaction video. And I was
mm,
like, they're watching a thing and like talking about it, giving their opinions. Well, I have opinions. I would love to give my opinions.
mhm,
And then and that was like my first exposure to the fandom was through the reaction part of the fandom.
mhm,
I think it was just one of those like slow burn sort of exposures. There wasn't any like bam in through the door. But then over time, I just began seeing more animations. I realized people could make their own things. I along the line like people like voiced their own stuff. It's like people could do and make all these things. That's amazing. I think my biggest exposure was when sadly a lot of my old reactions don't exist anymore because when the copyright storm
mm.
happened back in like 2000, I want to say 14 or 15, I went into a panic and deleted a bunch of those old videos. And in one of them, part of it was the reaction to Snowdrop.
Oh.
I said that, hey, I want to voice stuff. If someone could use my voice in a thing, I would love to do it. And that's how I got introduced to like I got pulled into a project group called Project Phoenix Productions, which included some of my oldest friends that I now know today. And from there, I learned probably about like VA work and like seeing everything. Like it was mix of a slow burn and being like in the right groups that made me see like, oh my god, all these things. Funnily enough, I didn't follow any of the users that people will probably say like AC Racebass, Black Griffin,
Mm,
Paleo, all these people. I didn't find those people until much later. I think my first, like outside of the reactor community, I think the first bronies that I followed and watched were the analysts.
mm.
I believe Josh Scorcher and Silver Quill were the first ones that I saw. And then from there, it was just an avalanche.
What would you say? Did you notice any change in yourself? Like, was there anything from either the fandom or the show that um, changed things in your life or inspired parts of your life?
It was more the fandom than the show. The show did like some of those episodes and their morals were like aimed specifically at me.
Mm,
Um, but the biggest improvement self improvement I got from being in the show, from being in the community, was I was a very very quiet, sheltered kid. Like yes, had a bunch of energy when the right time were, but I could not like ask people for art.
mm,
Like in the production crew that I was in, there were artists, and I really wanted art from them, but I could not ask them for it. I had to literally drag the words out of my mouth. So this show helped me, and this community helped me in like coming more out of my shell, be more bold, be more uh feel it's okay to ask for things.
mm.
Um and feel more love and pride in my creative works. Um it more or less helped me in like being myself and being happy of who myself is.
Leading towards the end of the show, uh, do you recall any thoughts and feelings for that time period, the end of G4?
This was at a point in my life where like it's in the middle of my 20s or like the later end of my 20s. I'm
Mm,
29 right now, but that was part of my life where like I had finished school and now I was out in the real world. I was looking for job, for job, for job. Like I landed in so many places, which actually is one of the reasons why for anyone who was on my channel at that point, would notice there was a long period of time where I was way behind on episodes. I was way behind on reactions.
Mm.
And it was in the middle of that point because getting pushed by like my parents and myself to try and like to get a real job, so to say, and trying to keep up with the show just burned me out. So there was actually for a long time where I couldn't get myself to watch MLP. And then in season 9, it all kind of came together because at that point I believe I had kind of settled at a point. I had found a sort of point. But then, as I realized that, wait, this is the last season, it really gave me that feeling of like time has flown so freaking quickly. And part of me was a bit scared.
Mm.
Like now this show is ending. The thing I based my entire online presence on. What would I do after this? What would I be able to do after this? And of course, some of the episodes in season 9 did address that. The whole thing of like, oh, it's coming to an end, this thing. What will I do afterwards? So I did feel like kind of seen by the show once in a while. But it was really just that feeling of like, this thing is coming to an end. And even though I know it's better to end now than just keep going, I don't want it to end. Because this is where so much of me has been.
Mm.
So yeah, it was kind of a maelstrom of emotions at that point. And for anyone who saw my season finale, my series finale reaction, you can see how that all just came out.
Mm.
Oh boy, yeah, that was a interesting, kind of rough time.
Yeah, I mean, rough time period as well because COVID was just around the
Yeah.
corner.
Oh yeah, like, oh boy.
That's a whole can of worms.
Oh yeah, it's a bucket of worms.
What did you notice from the days leading to the show ending and from the days afterwards? Just the fandom in general. Did you notice like changes in the fandom, like kind of I guess leading to today?
Yeah, the fandom had changed a lot at that point. It had gotten much smaller.
Mm.
Like I believe in the theory that our peak was in like 2015, 14, around that part.
Yeah.
That was like the peak of Bronedom. But like at that point in season 9, I feel like of course there were still like good-hearted, loving parts of the fandom, but I felt like overall the fandom had become a lot more cynical, a lot more like what is the word I'm looking for? Like I kind of want to call it the Marvel effect, where like, oh, isn't this thing cheesy and silly, like that sort of thing, like
Yeah.
making fun of the thing that are basically the building blocks of the thing they're talking about. And I especially remember after the finale, the big old reaction everyone had to it. Of course, I was very happy to see like so many other people felt like I did. It's like, oh my god, what a finale! What an ending! All of the emotions, the closing of the book ruined me. Ah! But then, of course, it was the other side. The other side, like that, could not accept this finale. I saw several like fan rewrites or fixes of the finale, where I feel like so many misunderstood the point of the finale. Because the biggest complaint I saw around was like, oh, like why would they break up the group? Like that goes against the entire friendship thing of the show. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like I can see that angle, but that was not the point. The point of that final episode of that each of them went to do their own thing was it was a lesson about that friendship. Like, yes, you are together. Friendship is strong. Yes, you're together in the same village, home, whatever.
Mm.
But it's about being able to keep that friendship after everyone has gone their separate ways. Because life happens.
Mm-hmm.
Life pulls everyone apart. Life gives everyone different seats, different suits, different hats. Everyone goes in a different direction, but it's about being able to keep that bond. They still meet up every once in a while. Like, as adults, I'm sure we all have experienced our friend groups little by little splitting up, but it's being able to keep that together. to keep the fires of friendship alive, the bonds between us. That was for me, that was the lesson of the episode. And so many either misunderstood or just didn't see that at all. That was a sorry, I don't know where this soapbox came from. I apologize.
Hey, we like soapboxes. We like to hear people. All right. All right. So, shortly after the ending of the G4, we were blessed with Pony Life. What are your thoughts on Pony Life?
That was honestly a weird period. Like, the amount of time between the G4 ending and G5 beginning, I don't know, it just seemed like such a weird, ethereal, not solid at all sort of time for ponies. There was the Pony Life, the little chibi versions of them, like kind of. I was about to say Teen Titans Go, but I'm pretty sure I would be crucified for making that comparison. I don't know. That I remember. I think back to that time, and I just think it was weird. It just felt so odd. Because like, yes, G4 was done, but they like did these other things. Like, I don't know. I couldn't really connect anymore. Because for me, G4 was done. My ties have been buried with it. And then, like, like I said, it was weird. I don't know how else to put it. It was just really strange.
Yeah. And again, after we had that Pony Life, we finally got our Generation 5.
Finally got the movie.
What have you seen from this 5th generation?
Beyond the movie, not a lot, I have to be honest. I think after G4, my soul was just kind of burned out on ponies because I had focused on them again for like 9 to 10 years. So there wasn't really anything that seemed to hook me back into G5. I've seen a lot of complaints that people have had. Like, thanks to Twitter, I know what people are angry about. I know that they didn't like the new Spike, the new little baby dragon. I know that they didn't like what they apparently did to the continuity from G4 to G5 with Twilight and everything. What they did with Discord, like in the comics. Like, I know there's a bunch of things that people don't like, but I've also seen a lot of people love it. I've seen fan art. I have seen people gushing about adorable moments. Like, there still seems to be a really dedicated, honest audience that honestly loves these new ponies, and all power to them. Love what you love. But I could for some reason not find anything to really hook me back into it myself.
What were, I guess, reasons that were holding you back from either following into continuing Generation 5, or did you at all finish Pony Life, or did you just watch a couple episodes and call it a day?
I don't think I ever actually finished Pony Life. I think, how many episodes was it even? It wasn't even like 10, was it?
It was about 40.
See, that's how much I know. I think also one of the reasons why I couldn't really get into G5 was because, from my perspective at least, it looks like there was 3 shows going on. There was a 3D animated show. There was a 2D animated show. There was another thing. It seemed so disorganized and so like out of order. Like, I wasn't even sure what was going on.
Like, in Generation 4, we had the simplicity of the show airing on Discovery Family, or the Hub.
Only on the Hub.
So you were blessed with a weekly episode. You understood, okay, season 26 episodes, that's about 24 weeks plus time in between. And with Generation 5 and Pony Life, it just seemed like scattered. You have the film a few months later, one 40-minute episode a few months later, all released 10 episodes on Netflix on the next thing.
Yeah.
Plus 5-minute YouTube shorts that comes out whenever.
If I may come at the risk of sounding like an old man, I am so split on the idea of, like, here are all these episodes. We'll release them at once. Like, I understand why, because then you can like enjoy it all at once. You can get the entire story in one sitting if you have the time and dedication for it.
Right.
But I miss that rip. I miss that. Boom, there's an episode. Bit of time. Boom, there's an episode. It's like, actually, to make kind of a modern comparison, Hazbin Hotel. They released 2 episodes at a time, like either every week or every other week or something like that. They didn't drop it all at once, but again with G5, it seems so overwhelming.
All right. Well, now we got to get into some philosophical questions, I suppose.
Oh boy.
I mean, philosophical, quote unquote. All right. Let's look at retrospective. So you've been in the fandom for at least 10 years ish.
Yeah, semi like dedicated to the fandom since season 3 at least.
You started at least 10 years ago.
Yeah,
Let's just
yeah.
say. I guess, what were your hopes or just thoughts about what you and ponies would have been like 5 to 10 years from when you first got into it? Or I guess even just like your life in general. Did you think that you'd be stuck with ponies, or did you think that you'd move on?
I I thought I would have stuck with ponies the entire way because it became such a big part of my life. I met so many people. I got so many more things I love to do because of ponies. Like I've said many times, I don't know what my life right now would be if I hadn't found ponies. Like it's one of those canon events of my life.
Mhm.
Um, but I think back then I had hoped that not only would I have stuck with ponies, I would also have grown more. I would have stuck to some creative venue, be editing, art, animation. Like I guess you can say I kind of did because I got much more into voice acting. Um, I haven't grown that as much as I wish I had back then, but it still got me into some form of creative expression. I think also part of like just meeting more people, meeting new people, and seeing the world. Because thanks to all the international friends I was making, now I had even more of an excuse to fly around, see other countries, see
Mm.
other places, possibly go to conventions. I still couldn't believe that. Maybe it's just because I live here in this little country in the middle of Europe, far away from every other convention ever. Like I didn't get to my first convention until like 2016 or even 17, I think it was, in Galacon. But I guess I can tell that were my hopes and dreams back then. To like get more creative, find a creative avenue to really dedicate myself to, so I can like create and make things, and friendship.
So, how do you feel about all of that right now? Do you think that you've done a good job, or do you feel there's like room for improvement?
Not as far as I've wanted to back then, but I think I have gotten like away because like I have equipment now to be able to do voice acting. I have voice acted in things inside and outside of the fandom. Um, I I have often worked with Obab Scribbler,
Mm.
where I voiced in some of her stuff. Um, so it's not because that the entire idea and concept is dead. I just haven't been able to tend to it as much as I wanted to. When it comes to the other things, I know so many amazing people all around the world. People who I can like, if time allows it, can surely plan a visit to come over and see them. I've done that a couple of times. So like, I think all in all, the only part that failed to stick was me sticking with ponies. I still try to do something to stay like I still have my Twitch stream series called Stream of Memories,
Mm.
which is all about looking back at past Brony projects. I haven't done that in a while, should probably do that soon. But like I really love just looking back and seeing all that amazing creativity that came out of the fandom. So yeah, but yeah, so that was maybe the only part that didn't quite stick with my hopes and dreams. But the other two, like, kind of succeeded.
What are your hopes for the future of either the fandom of the show or even your life?
I don't quite know what the state with the fandom is right now, but I hope that the fandom accepts that we can, that most of the fandom will accept that we can have both G4 and G5. Because I have seen so many people acting like G5 was trying to replace what we had before. And no, guys, that will not happen. G5 will always be there. They live in you, they live in me, like the Simba sort of stuff. We can still go back and love it and enjoy it, but we can also have the new. People, like I said, people earnestly love the new stuff. Let them love the new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe when they make G6 in the next 5 years, maybe that'll be the thing that'll bring everyone back again. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think my biggest hope for the fandom is that we all return to the roots. As much as I am a bit partial on the phrase, but the whole was it love and tolerate.
Mm.
I hope we can return to those roots and what it actually meant. Just love, create, and accept. And for me, I hope for my future that I can be an example of that. I strive to be an example of positivity in the Brony fandom, because I still, after all these years, I have not seen a pony thing in so long, but I still consider myself a Brony at heart.
Mm.
Always will. I'm still proud to be a Brony, still proud to have been a part of the fandom, even if it's not that alive right now. It's still here. We still love to create, and we still want to keep going. Sorry, again, the soapbox. I don't know where it keeps coming from.
No, it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
I yap. When I start yapping, I just keep on going.
We like yapping. All right. So, is there anything you would like us to plug here?
YouTube.com/JohnnyFerno if you want to see me live. Twitch.tv/JohnnyFerno, where I sometimes stream.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me. It was wonderful. It was a lot of fun talking about this stuff again. I don't really land in situations where just talking about the past of bronies. There are so much to talk about, both in the good and the bad. God, Brony fandom has been a fascinating journey. Hope it continues.